Welcome back. I'm very excited about this conversation because it really blends all of the facets of a fantastic Mountain Views get together here on Park City Television. We're going to talk about an especially pernicious disease that continues to require loads of research, and hopefully one day we will look to a cure. For now, ALS is a disease that we are all, I think, increasingly familiar with. There's much work that remains to be done. Also, a story about bikes and riding bikes for very long distances and talented athletes who do that sort of thing. This is Seth Christensen and Mike Conti. Gentlemen, welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Seth, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Thanks for coming. Nice to see you. If you guys would talk a little bit about your relationship, how you guys got connected, and the work that this has spawned for you on behalf of ALS research.
Yeah, we were luckily connected through Seth's brother Clay, who owns a race down in Salt Lake, Salt to Saint, from Salt Lake to St. George, relay and solo division, and he had found out that I was racing from Salt Lake to Vegas and raising money for ALS, and since then we've kind of been close friends and raising money for ALS Crowd. So that's how we became friends.
Very
kind of a
cool.
small community in Salt Lake of racers. And
Seth, talk a little bit about what this experience has been like for you. Was this something that you had thought would be a possibility to have a partner like this in this kind of an effort?
You know, I didn't know Mike before last year, but then I heard about what he was doing and the symbol that he is. And he's a natural example and a symbol for those of us that were a little bit more limited. So I love to follow him, and thankfully he has made our little foundation a goal of his to support.
And was this a natural thing that when you guys met, that were you looking for something to tie with this amazing effort? I would imagine that it's so hard that having someone else, a group of people to work for, would be an amazing energy for you.
It wasn't a goal at first. Stephen, too, who puts on the Saints to Sinners race from Salt Lake to Las Vegas, I approached him and said, hey, I want to race solo. I know guys have tried it before and have failed because he has a very tight 36-hour window just because permits and so on and so forth. It's not really an ultra event. It's more of a relay, kind of like Ragnar. He raises money for ALS through the neurological department at the University of Utah, correct? Yeah, and so I got with him. I said, hey, I want to do it solo. I want to raise money, help you. We ended up raising somewhere about $13,000. And that's when, after that happened, I got connected with Seth. So,
got a little few shots that we're talking over here.
Yeah.
Really beautiful stuff. Guys, talk a little bit, if you would, about, for lack of a better way to put it, where are we with ALS? What is the current situation? What are our prospects for the future?
So those new to ALS, the disease has been a recognized syndrome for 150 years, but we still don't know what causes it, why it progresses so differently in different people, really anything about it. Right now we have more hope than we've ever had with advances in whole genome sequencing and computational power that we've never had before. So add to that the Ice Bucket Challenge last year, and we're in our heyday. We really hope to make a breakthrough within the next couple of years.
And it takes this kind of a team spirit.
It does.
People working together, not just on the research side, but also on the fundraising side as well.
Yeah.
Guys, let's take a quick break. We'll talk a little bit more about these races that you're doing and the job that you've got coming up.
Perfect.
Quick break. Back more with alscrowd.org talking about long distance bike racing. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are talking about good works and guys with guts, guys who do amazing things to help others. We're talking about ALS, a disease that we are continuing to work on, and hopefully, with the efforts of fellows like Mike Conti and Seth Christensen, we will push it out the door once and for all. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Let's talk about racing. What does it take? You mentioned that you've done 8 Ironmans?
Yeah, between halves and fulls, yeah.
So you have a long history of these heavy, big-time endurance events. Talk about this long-distance bike racing, and I heard an anecdote that you say, if I get a couple 30-minute naps.
Yeah, pretty much this. Yeah, I mean, I raced last year. I did one to Vegas and one to St. George, 500 and 400 miles to get my foot in the door. And next Tuesday will be the real deal, race across the West, which is the first, basically third of the race across America. So I'll be racing 860 miles. Wow. And try and complete it in 48, 50, 52 hours, somewhere about that. And we leave at noon. I'll race through the night nonstop through the next day, and then probably a 20-minute or 30-minute sleep break the next night. Again, anything can happen, so nothing's really planned other than the start time. Now, are you racing with the Ram folks? Is it part of the bigger race across America? So, yeah, we'll leave with the solo guys, the solo Ram racers. So Christopher Strasser and Adam Bickett, those guys.
Right.
We'll leave with the big names, and we leave in a time trial start every 1 minute. So it'll be a big parade of us, and then it'll split up. There's no drafting, so it'll split up through the mountains outside of California, and then the desert through Borrego Springs, and then kind of settle in from there as soon as we get to Arizona. And then we stop in Durango, and they continue on all the way to Maryland.
It's kind of funny to think that you'll be pacing yourself according to a shorter,
yes,
race, just going to Durango, as opposed to the guys who are saving themselves for the plain states and the run to the Atlantic.
Yeah, they're pretty fast. They're pretty fast all the way through, and each one of them is raising money for different causes and so on and so forth. It's a big fundraising event. To go along with the craziness, I guess, is the easiest way to say it. It's nice to tie in hard work into a good effort into raising money for a cause, and each one of them has many different causes.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit, if you would, Mike, about inspiration when it's time to get up at, I'm sure, 4, quarter to 4 in the morning, craziness to get your miles in. Talk about where you find inspiration, and I'm assuming that this fine fellow sitting next to you is on your mind and in your thoughts a lot when you're out training and racing. Yeah,
for sure. Especially when racing down to St. George, we talked a ton and kind of communicated during the race and afterwards, checking in and especially checking in with his brother. Just in my race, I have a crew who supports me. Just like in his life, he has a crew that supports him. They feed me. They make sure I get changed. They make sure I'm, eating at the right times and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, the inspiration to get up is I'm just an average guy with big dreams. And in order to make those dreams happen, I can't sit on the couch. So yeah, get up early, hit the trainer. The guys on my team make fun of me riding the trainer early in the morning, and because I've got a daughter who wants to go do things in the afternoon, and then sometimes I'll hit it again that night, just to get 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night on the trainer. So most of my rides are long, and I'm by myself. Not by choice, but not a lot of people want to go out and ride 170, 180 miles on a Saturday.
That's crazy.
So, and with the weather here lately, I've been having to drive down to my house in St. George to go ride on the weekends because it's been, raining for practically a month.
That's right. You got to keep the rubber side down, right?
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of the cold and the rain and wet and snow.
So is there a big dream for you guys in terms of your partnership and races beyond across the West into the future?
I try and raise 25,000, between this race and my race to Vegas and St. George for ALS crowd. And then depending on my results next week, if I finish, I'll qualify for the race across America. And it's been a dream and a big goal. And so that would be on. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We'll see how next week goes, but the Race Across America would be definitely on the agenda for me, and again, raising more money for ALS Crowd. I love knowing Seth and the organization and what they do and the hard work that they do, and know that the money is getting to where it's supposed to get to, every penny, every dollar. So for me, it's worth it, and of course, you know, Seth being the inspiration to keep pushing myself harder. Yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great partnership. It's a great friendship. It's just good. Well,
it's fantastic to have you guys here. I think I speak for everybody in the studio. We feel the good vibes and the inspiration of both of you fellows. Keep up the great work. Best wishes for a great race.
Yeah.
Seth, great to have you here.
Thank you
for making time, and best wishes for $25,000 and beyond. I'm guessing that's probably in some ways just the starting point for you guys together.
I hope so.
Yep.
Great. Thank you to see you both.
Thanks.
ALScrowd.org. Go get more information about not only the race, but about what you can do to help, how you can participate. We're going to take a break. We got to talk about weather, see what's going to be happening here in the next 24 to 48 hours. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.